I don't think consumers differentiate between 85, 95 and 90. People only differentiate between 0 and 100.
At the top, there's only room for one, right?
I believe in India, 80% of celebrity usage in advertising that I see is not thought through.
Creating is easy. What to create is $1 million question.
Hi, you're listening to Marketing with Vani, in which I speak to marketing gurus. Together we decode how marketing works in the real world to grow your business.
So, Avneet, thank you so much for being on this show. It's lovely to have you, and thank you so much for coming home.
You're most welcome. I'm very excited.
And okay, so I want to tell you on wishing chair. After this, I will show you each and everything that I have in the various corners of wishing chair. I absolutely love your store. Tell me, after so many years of being a physical outfit, you decided to go online and you created your own website. Was the website something new? Was it created post-COVID, or has your website been around all along? Has most of your focus been offline, online? What mix is it and how has it changed? Tell us about that.
We definitely started as an offline store. We started first in Shapoorjat and then we built our store in Gurgaon and Bangalore. Offline was a focus area. We did start dabbling a little bit with e-commerce in 2018, 2019, but it wasn't something that we were serious about or really focused on. But once COVID came along, we had no option. We had to move like everybody else. And now, what I would say today, we're 55-60% of our business is online, and that's the focus because we've understood the power of e-commerce and how quickly one can scale and how you can reach parts of the country which are not possible with stores. Having said that, I feel like that both need to coexist. I see our stores more as an experiential marketing, touch and feel, storytelling kind of a format, as long as they also support their cause. And e-commerce is our way of taking the brand forward and reaching the entire country.
That's a very, very important point you make, Avneet. So you're saying that physical stores have their own purpose, which you just detailed out, and online helps you increase reach.
Yeah, for sure.
And when you say online, is it all your website, or when you say online, is it primarily marketplaces like Amazon?
So we haven't really been on marketplaces before last month. So when I say
last month, as recent as that.
Yeah. So when I say 55 to 60% of our business, it's on our own website. So we are truly D2C.
Fantastic. So that's another thing. Actually, most people say D2C even when bulk of their business is from marketplaces. That doesn't qualify to be called D2C.
Correct.
And you talked about how your stores have a role to play, which is that's where the consumer comes to experience the product, experience the brand that is the wishing chair. Because you walk into this store, I remember when I was at Pepsi, and a lot of us used to always run to the wishing chair store every time we wanted to buy a farewell gift or a gift for a colleague who's just had a baby. For all kinds of gifts, we'd run to the wishing chair. Because the wishing chair is like an experience. You walk into this fairy tale sort of an outlet and everything just seems so beautiful. Everything is perfect. Everything has a very, very strong design sensibility. You can see that the brand is so well put together. And I must compliment you. What you achieved offline is what you achieved online as well. I love your website. When I scroll on your website, I feel you've been able to successfully recreate that experience. Tell me about that, because that's a very, very big challenge that founders face. How do you keep the brand experience consistent across offline and online? It's a big challenge.
So I feel like the brand ethos in my head and my co-founder's head, as well as our team, is really clear. So when we're called the Wishing Chair, we're named after an Enid Blyton book.
Oh, lovely. I
Yeah.
didn't know that.
So it's called The Adventures of the Wishing Chair, which we both read as kids. And what we loved about it is this transportative vibe that it has, that you sit on this chair and you go to these magical, faraway places which are really far from hot and dusty Delhi. That's when we had kind of thought about what is it that we wanted to be. So given that ethos of what the wishing chair should mean, and as well as also taking into consideration that we wanted creative expression for ourselves and for the customer.
Lovely.
So every product has to have some kind of a twist of quirkiness to it, which makes it special for her. And that's also what we wanted to bring on the website. And hence the website, it is what it is. So in my head, when I think about the wishing chair customer, that why does she come to us or what does she want from us? We think of her as an artist. We think of her as creating some kind of self-expression in her home, in her gifting, in her styling, in her Insta pictures, which express something about her. So hence every product, every interaction, website, stores, all need to be an extension of this persona of an artist.
Beautiful.
And that's how it kind of comes together.
And tell me something on your website. One is, of course, I see a very, very strong consistency of the visual grammar that you've achieved, what the stores look like, the way you've done the stores, as well as what you've got on the website. But apart from that, I also see that there is a lot of content, stuff that you've written that feels, like you said, out of a fairy tale book. It feels like it's out of an Enid Blyton book. How do you do all of that? Is that something that you guys, you and Vivita, your co-founders, is it something that you tightly control yourself? Is it a lot of what you yourself do? Or is it stuff that you outsource? And if you are outsourcing it, then how do you keep that consistency? It really feels like everything has been done by someone who's so deeply, passionately involved in it.
Well, we're a very small team, so there's not that much outsourcing that is possible or giving to other people to do. Also, as you know, retail margins are a challenge. We're a bootstrapped company. We have to make money every month to ensure everybody in our team is paid, our vendors are paid on time. So yes, Vivita and I do end up taking a large part of the workload. But the thing is that what we try to templatize is this emotion, this feeling. And our team has also been with us for a while, so they also get it. I don't believe that you can outsource content and product and then still have a consistency. It needs to be done in-house, in my belief. And hence we try to keep as much of the creative part in-house, but we do outsource things like the tech and the logistics and the financial accounting and those kind of things which are not core to the business and the storytelling.
Beautiful. Now tell me, you've got this spanking new website. What should one keep in mind while building an e-commerce enabled website? How does one do it right? What was your learning journey like? What did you learn as the must-dos?
So this is the fourth time around that we've done this website. So I wouldn't say that,
Wow.
hey, we got it right the first time. We've also learned. The thing about websites as e-commerce that I've come to understand is that there's never a perfect website. Every day you learn something new that is not working and that needs to be fixed, or something that needs to be changed or optimized. So how I see e-commerce is a continuous optimization game, where you start is from your customer journey. What is the customer? Why has a customer come to your website? Because there's something that they're looking for. You need to ensure that the customer finds that as soon as possible in the lowest amount of clicks, and is able to ensure that she or he can order it without any hindrances or questions.
Right.
So if you have to plan the customer's journey from, say, I want a mug,
Right.
to being able to order a mug, how is that going to flow?
Right.
And once you're able to map that out in terms of wireframes and putting together where the journey will go category wise, then it's easy to build out. So things like the website needs to be really super fast and load quickly. It needs to be mobile optimized because everyone's browsing on their phone. The navigation needs to be simple enough for a person to be able to find what they're looking for. And lastly, the product on the website should look like what they're actually going to get, so that there's no hindrance. And if the customer has any questions, how easy it is for them to ask a question, get a solution, and then move to checkout.
Fantastic. So tell me something, Avneet. You are essentially a beauty products beauty in the sense it's all about making things beautiful, making life beautiful. Now, this is not an essential product. I go to Amazon to buy a bath rug. I go to Amazon to buy, let's say, a doormat or whatever. So I'm going to Amazon to buy something specific that I need and then I get out. So I need that interface to be really efficient. Look for what I want, find it at the lowest price, looks decent quality, buy and get out. Now, in your case, a mug maybe, but isn't yours actually just about coming and doing a little bit of la di la and let me look around, and isn't it also pretty and let me see it? It's not really stuff that I need.
Yes, there are some things you need, but a lot of things you don't need. Our website also serves as a point of inspiration. If you see, like in the last 2 years, there's been so much focus on making your house more beautiful, making hosting beautiful.
Yeah.
You want the gifts you give to say something about you. So what we're trying to do is to ensure that whatever we put out there is inspirational and aspirational for the customer to buy, that a little bit of this says something about me. It helps me identify with this creative person that I think I am.
Yeah, no, but I'm saying in the website, what you spoke about was this really clean consumer journey. I come looking for a mug. I've been able to find what I came looking for. I'm assured that the mug that I'm seeing on the website will be exactly what I get. I'm able to quickly proceed to checkout, pay and get out, right? But if I, as a founder, it's in your interest to make sure that she hangs around, that she also buys a little of this, and most of what we buy to make the house beautiful is all impulsive, right?
Yeah.
So how do you marry the two? That in the sense that you don't come across as being, you don't sort of not have a structure, and at the same time you're able to tempt her. So what should the logical flow be like where do you put, is there learning on where should you put bestsellers, is there learning on while you're looking for mugs should you also check out blah 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 blah?
So what we do generally is we segment the customer into a first time, like a new visitor, and a repeat customer. A repeat customer, we would focus more on things like what is new available basis when she came last time, as well as cross selling, that if you bought this category, then all these other things from this category are also now available to you. Whereas for a new person coming in, their focus would be a lot more on, here are our bestsellers, here's what we do best, this is our story, this is how we started out, this is how we produce our product, this is what we stand for. Whereas on the repeat customer, it's all about what else you should have basis what you already have, and here what else is new. So that's how we segment the two.
And what software, what platform do you use to get all of these to get these analytics?
So we're hosted on Shopify. We're big fans of Shopify as a platform for e-commerce.
Right.
And there are various apps that are associated with it, which we use to help understand the data. And also Google Analytics is a great tool.
Okay. And all of that you're able to manage in-house?
No, so the tech is managed, like we've outsourced the tech in terms of anything that needs to be developed and built. But the marketing and the data analytics, yes, is in-house.
Okay, wow. And what part of your team in-house is dedicated to the e-commerce business?
So there are two parts. One is the digital marketing part of it. Then there's the cataloging, people who are putting new things up every day. And the third is the visual content. Because in the home space, contextualizing is very important. The customer has to be able to see how I can put this in my house. How can I use this? So there's a 2-people contextualizing team, which is constantly taking pictures, creating videos, creating cues on how the person can use it. So there are 3 different segments.
Very nice. Actually, come to think of it, you could even run a crowdsourcing program where you're able to crowdsource from consumers how they have used something that they've bought.
We have an app, a UGC app, which they call user-generated content in e-commerce, where it pulls the photographs from Instagram of how people are using it and uploads it on the product page.
Wow.
There are many such apps available in Shopify.
Okay, and when you're saying on the product page, you're saying on your own website?
Yeah, you take permission from them that can I use this content, it will help others. And if they agree, then it uploads it.
Very nice. Okay, now I'm going to change tack and I'm going to talk to you a little about email marketing. So now this is about email marketing. I love the emails you write. Sometimes I find them very, very long, but I love them. And I wonder, how is it that you're able to see? I find that if I happen to even by mistake click on a cushion cover, then you guys are chasing me. Oh, you like this cushion cover? then you must like this also, and check out our embroidery and check out this. So that's one aspect of it. But otherwise, I also love the fact that a lot of your emails are just generally about life, and they seem to be very, very open about what's happening in yours and Viv's life. And in a sense, I feel like even if I hadn't known you personally, I would have gotten to know you as a person through your emails, which is also something that you wonderfully do between what your website captures, what your products look like, and what your emails read like. So, who does your emails and how do you manage that? And how much time do you spend on it? And how are you able to write as much? So, first tell me about the content and then tell me about how do you manage the email analytics.
Okay. Repeat is a large part of our business, and the one good way to engage your customer, your repeat base, is through emails, especially with CACs going up so much with Facebook and Apple, and they're fighting. So what we've done is that we've divided emails into two parts: promotional as well as a newsletter from the co-founders. The newsletter from the co-founders, which generally goes out on the weekend, it's called the Delights of Distraction. It's something we started when in COVID. It was mostly Vivita and me sharing stuff with each other to keep ourselves feel inspired and distracted with
When you were in your respective houses and you
Yeah,
were
with
literally
not-
like writing letters to each other to keep each other.
sharing links and
Yeah.
things to inspire us and to keep us going, so that the continuous doom scrolling that was happening with the news.
Yeah.
And then this idea came about that why don't we share it out with other women, because I'm sure everybody's feeling the same way. And that's how it started. And then the response to it was so overwhelming.
Wow.
We get so many emails every week. We try to respond to all of them, to every newsletter, but sometimes we're sorry.
So
if we
people
miss-
write back?
Yeah, like hundreds of women write back.
Wow.
We have a list of about
And
25,000.
what kind of stuff do they write back? What do they say?
There's a lot of notification that they feel the same way, or we shared stuff that they were already feeling but were not able to articulate. Some people really appreciate the links and the recommendations we send out, that they learned something new from it. Some people write in to say that it's just amazing that how someone takes out the time to do all this without trying to sell me something, because every
Wow.
other email
Yes.
that a
Very
brand
nice.
sends.
Wow, very nice.
Yeah, hundreds.
Wow.
And that's something that really keeps us going, because we're like, okay, we're doing something right. So that's really helpful. It does take a lot of time. Luckily, Vivita, my co-founder, is a great editor. Like, language comes so beautifully to her. So we are able to express ourselves. Also, we feel that as 40-year-old women in the world trying to navigate this big bad business world and understanding how things work, there's a lot we can share with other people, because everybody celebrates the success, but nobody looks at all the stuff that goes behind
it. How
So we
nice.
feel that that's something we can share with the world. So we do it, and it's really gratifying.
That's lovely. And you said you have an email base of 25,000?
Yeah, 25,000 and growing, who we mail 3 times a week. 2 promotional emails and 1 is our newsletter.
And on what platform do you manage
So we
email?
use a tool called Klaviyo.
Okay.
It syncs with Shopify, so all our customer data from Shopify sits in it. It's great for segmentation. It's an expensive tool, but we think that it pays for itself, and so hence that's what we use.
How do you say it pays for itself? In what ways do you say that?
That the business generated, because it has great analytics. So the business that every click is tracked, every sale from after that email is tracked. So the amount of business that's getting generated from email marketing pays for the tool,
Wow.
because it's a fairly expensive tool for India, especially now with the dollar being as shitty.
So you're able to, yeah, I know. So you're able to, from the email marketing, so you're saying when I send out an email, for example, if I'm recommending new cushion covers to you, you're saying that women actually then go click on that, and then from the email they land on the website and end up buying. That's how
Yeah.
you're saying that the email marketing is paying for itself, and you're able to see the link.
Yeah, so basically that you can set up a one day tracking or a 7-day tracking, that from the day the customer opened the email to if she made a purchase, it tracks and tells you that this email you sold this much, this is what you sold, this is who you sold to, and this is the amount.
Fantastic. Fantastic. Okay, now I want to know, coming from the world that I do, which is from this FMCG world, the world of Unilever and Reckitt, where in all global companies, we have this thing called the brand book. Okay, it's the Bible for a marketing head. And we look at that for guidance on everything, what colors to use, not use, the typography, illustration style, photography style, what's the past of the brand, what is the visual language, what is the sensorial language, all of that. Is there something of this kind that you have by way of a document that exists in the company, or is this just something between you and Vivita? You just have such a great understanding of the brand that you're not worried about the documentation. You just feel it comes naturally to us and we know what the wishing chair is about.
No, so we do have a manual in terms of brand colors and fonts and do's and don'ts. It's not as detailed as it would be, say, at a Unilever, where even how the like every detail of the color of the ad,
the combinations and
what sweater the girl would wear, those kind of things we don't have.
Correct.
But it's pretty clear in my team's head that when you put 5 products together or you put 5 visuals together, that this is us and this is not us.
Wow.
So the template is pretty clear in our heads and in our understanding. But we do have documentations on fonts, Pantones, sizes, combinations of.
And was this something that was done by an external agency for you? Is this something that
Yes.
you developed in-house?
No, we worked with an international designer long back. She's a Colombian person who helped us put the brand manual together.
Lovely. And you felt that there was a need for some such thing. At what stage did you feel that I need to engage this Colombian, I need to put this together, I need to spend money on this activity?
Before we started wishing, they're very clear. Consistency is important. I also worked in brand earlier.
Of course. So this was your training at Boston, and you think that, wow.
That
So
this has to
even
happen.
before you started the wishing chair, you actually did this.
Yes, the brand identity, we did the whole exercise before.
Fantastic. Wow. Okay, one last question, which is on your Instagram following. You have a crazy number of followers and you have a beautiful
256,000.
256,000. That's amazing. How long did it take for you to get there?
A long time. Instagram only started in 2014.
Okay.
So
Okay, wow.
but it's legit. It's been built one by one. It's not something that we put out crazy amount of ads and bought, because we didn't think that means anything. The person has to believe in what you're doing. They have to love what you're doing, and then only will they buy into your story. But being a small business, not having the kind of budgets that large companies have for advertising, hoardings, etc., social media has been the single biggest driver in our ability to build our brand. So we take it really seriously. We post consistently. We ensure the aesthetic is on point. Last few months have been a little hard on Facebook and Instagram because the algorithm is really volatile. So we're not understanding what is going on. We're trying to figure that out. But the only thing I would say is that it takes time and you need to be consistent. We've built it.
How
brick
many
by
posts
brick.
a week do you do?
So we'll do 1 post a day and 3 stories.
1 post a day and 3 stories every day.
Yes.
Wow, that is a lot.
Yeah.
And with your current merchandise, so you
Yes.
find new ways of using your current
Yeah.
merchandise, and
Yeah, you need to contextualize. Then there are lots of topical things that one can talk about.
Right.
And then there are various, you can repost user generated content where
Yeah.
other people are
Yeah.
posting. But you need to be present every day. You need to be consistent. A day should not be missed. And you need to answer every query that comes on Instagram, every comment that somebody puts out there.
Wow.
And a lot of people say that, hey, find me an intern who can do this or find me an
Yeah.
agency. I don't think that works. It
Wow.
needs to be in-house and it needs to be controlled by a person who is a brand custodian.
Lovely. Because I've also had founders complain saying, "Oh, my brand manager has become a social media manager. वो तो कुछ और कर ही नहीं रही है, वो तो खाली post कर रही है." But you're saying that is of tremendous value because my brand is that. What you see on Instagram is a large part of what we are.
Because now in today's day and age, that's the first interaction most people will have with you.
Correct. In fact, I've seen my own behavior when I look up something. Instead of going on Google first, I'm first checking out a brand on Instagram. It's my first go-to to check out. That's interesting. And tell me, when you did choose Instagram in 2016, did you think about Facebook as being your primary platform?
We started with Facebook first, and
Right.
that was our primary platform. But soon we realized that everybody is sort of starting to move to Instagram. So then we were doing both. And at some point, the engagement on Facebook just kind of really went low. And now Instagram allows you to repost everything you post on Instagram to Facebook. So we've set that up. So everything we put on Instagram goes to Facebook. But Instagram is our primary way of marketing. It's a primary channel.
Fantastic. And from Instagram, you're able to take people onto the website.
Yes.
And you're able to track that as well. And you do analytics on that as well to see
Yeah.
what kind of posts are getting you what kind of traffic?
Yeah, so Instagram has good analytics. I wouldn't say they're great, but they're good. But from Instagram, Shopify then will tell you that who came where, what happened, and as well as Google Analytics. So it's a great tool. As a small business, it's one of the best tools out there available to bring traffic to your website, though it's getting harder and harder in D2C because there's just so much clutter in the last 2 years.
Okay, fantastic. One last question yet again. Because getting traffic is the biggest, I would imagine, to do for you as a founder, right? At the end of the day, the same woman can buy only so many cushions and so many mugs. At the end of the day, you need more number of consumers to discover the wishing chair. In all of that you do, what do you do to be able to attract more number of users? For you, I would imagine trialists is the single biggest deliverable. Having lots more people coming and discovering the wishing chair and finding that one beautiful thing that they can buy in the house and bring some part of the wishing chair into the house for the first time.
Yeah, so obviously we are focusing a lot on performance marketing so as to put the brand out there in front of new prospects. We are trying to work with small micro influencers, especially in the home space, and help them seed the product to their base and community. Last month, we've also signed up with a few marketplaces because that's where the customer already is. So if we can be found there, then that would help. We're also trying to do tie-ups with other stores across the country to see that if we can do small shop-in-shops or placements over there. So these are the various things that we are trying. And we're also hoping at some point we would like to be present in other countries. So like the Middle East is something that we are really thinking about taking our brand to. So we feel that that would also open up a new avenue and a new market for us.
Very nice. Have you ever considered traditional marketing? No, like not TV, but newspaper or hoardings or.
We would love to once we have the budgets.
So it's not that you're averse to it. But
No, of course not.
And can I ask, as of now, how much money do you spend on performance marketing month on month?
We spend about 14% of sales.
14% of sales on performance marketing alone.
Yes.
But this would not be your total marketing budget.
No, but it's a large part of our budget.
Wow.
Large part of our marketing budget.
Wow. And would you ever consider a possibility of reducing or skinning some part of this performance marketing budget and putting it into offline, even if that offline means driving traffic hyper locally from where your stores are? If you have a store in South Point Mall, Gurgaon, how can I drive more traffic from around that to be able to come and discover the wishing chair?
Of course, we haven't found a format yet that kind of works for us. But if you have any ideas or anybody listening has any ideas, we would love to try it. I'm a big believer that you have to try 100 new things in very small ways every month and find what works, then optimize it and optimize it so that you can scale it. So I'm a big believer in that and always open to trying anything.
Do you do any kind of analytics in the shop itself? Is there any kind of data that you collect in the shop itself to figure who's coming to my shop? Is she a first time? Is she a repeat?
So what we do have is that our online and our offline data is linked.
Fantastic.
So if we know who's a person, if she shopped online before, if she shopped offline, the same data is visible to the store manager.
How is that? So for example, just last week I went and bought that vase from your shop and she asked me for my mobile number. And then as soon as she put my mobile number, was it mobile number or email ID?
Either, it can be either.
And then she said, ma'am, we have your data.
Yeah, so we have a back-end system, a tech stack, which allows us and our store managers as well as our digital marketing person to see that how a customer is interacting with us, because the customer doesn't see my shop as different from my website.
Correct.
For them, it's all the same.
Correct.
I can't treat them separately either.
Correct.
So the person who's interacting with them should know where she went last and what she did. So that information is integrated and available across. Because a person might buy a gift card online for somebody, and that person might want to redeem it in the store. Or she may have bought something online and said, I want to exchange it in the store. So we have to allow for all of that because it's the same brand to her. So hence the data we collect syncs between the stores and online so as to ensure that we're an omni-channel offering to the customer.
Beautiful. So you're saying that the store manager would have visibility to the fact that Vani has bought blah, blah, blah from the website.
Yes.
Wow. And then she would do what with that information?
So she can initiate a conversation with you that last time you bought this and how did that go? Oh, we saw you bought this table cover. We also have napkins with it now along with it. So there's cross selling that can happen. There's also engagement. Also, a customer, when she comes into a store like ours, needs to feel seen. She needs to feel that she's being catered to. So that can only happen if the store manager has access to information. Otherwise, it's just another body that is walking by and walking out. And so we don't want her to feel like we're just here to sell to you.
Exactly. So it's not a transaction. You matter to me, and I know what your worldview is. I know where you've transacted or what's important to you or what interested you.
Yeah. I see you, I'm here for you, you're my friend.
You're not a consumer, you are, let's say, Payal Singh, who's interested in blah, blah, blah kind
You're
of
part of our community. We get you. That's what we want our customers to feel in our stores.
Fantastic. Fantastic. Okay, one more thing, which is this thing, since you took the word community, what is a community to you? For a brand that sells mugs and cushion covers and table mats and whatever else, what is the role of a community?
So how I see community is my customer is me and I am my customer. So
Right.
all my challenges, all the things that I think about, all the things that are out there, all the things that I need, there are lots of women out there who think the same way or have the same challenges, or especially in a similar age bracket, right? So a connection between them to me is community. That's what we try.
But how do I build a connection with someone else who's bought table mats that are very similar to what I've bought?
Yeah, so what we're trying to do we're trying to actually solve for it in terms of a user generated content kind of a way. Because a lot of the time a woman is confused that will this work for me or not work for me. But if somebody else puts it out there to her that, listen, hey, I tried it, it really worked for me, then that helps with that purchase. So what we're trying to do is build that. Also in our newsletter, we try to put together information basis what other people are sharing with us, so that there's this feeling of I'm not alone in the world.
Yeah, very nice.
So that's what we're trying to solve for, that I am you. Like what you need is also what I need. My challenges are also the same. That is how we're trying to solve for, rather than just saying, hey, let's make a Facebook group where everyone can just kind of ask questions and answers, because I think there's already so much of that's happening.
Lovely. I think there's so much in this space, because when it comes to making your house beautiful, actually in the daily stresses, you always feel like you're bereft of ideas on what you could do. There are blind spots created in the house. Like in my own house, I feel if an outsider were to walk into my house and look at it, they'd say, why is this spot so dark? Or why don't you clean up this mess? So what if you were to brighten this up with something? And I wonder if the role of a community, the wishing chair community, could actually solve for stuff like this.
Of course. And also it's overwhelming, right? These are purchases which are not necessarily cheap. And there's a whole thing that will it work? Because design is also iterative. We have the ability to keep changing it in the store and all. But if you bought it for your house and you're like, hey, I already paid money for it, now it doesn't look good, I don't know what I'm doing. So if there are people out there who are inspiring you, who are contextualizing it for you, who are giving you ideas on how to use it, then that helps build that confidence that you need, saying that, hey, I saw it there, it worked for me. It worked for her, so it could work for me. So let me go out and get this. So that's also something that a role that the community plays.
Very nice. On that note, thank you so much. It's been lovely chatting with you.
Thanks, Vani. Thank you for having me. It's been a privilege.
Thank you.